Good evening. Defending champion out. Thought she might struggle a bit, didn't see her losing. Just give it a couple of minutes to see if anybody else is coming. Slightly different tonight, as we're down to just 16 matches. I'm going to, rather than just have my thoughts already entered on the sheet that I use for the trading advice email, I'm just going to start from scratch. I haven't looked at any of the matches in detail, so you can just see the process that I go through. We've looked at it in at least one of the other videos, and you must have seen it in, I'm sure I've done it in most of them, but just from start to finish without me doing any preparation before. So it was a plan not to do any preparation, not that I only got home at 7:30. 4 people watching. Viewing figures are down. Right, I'll make a start because you've managed to get here on time. If they miss it, they can watch the recording. Something I want to talk about actually before I go into the normal stuff that we cover. The reason I decided to do these sessions live was I thought it'd be interesting and useful for people to be able to fire questions and maybe question what I'm saying, which is absolutely fine. I'm certainly not someone who thinks that everything I say is right. I've been with my wife 18 years. She tells me on a daily basis that I don't know what I'm talking about, so it's a concept that I'm comfortable with. I have to listen to what people tell me or show me that they want. Now, apart from the first session when there was the issue with the sound, when there were some comments in the chat, there haven't been any since, just none since. So that gives me a clear message that people want, hopefully, the content that I'm putting out, but are not really interested in getting involved, and that's absolutely fine. I've been doing this long enough to know that that's how it is. If you put some free content out, people will turn up, take the free content and go. Maybe a thank you as they go, but that's absolutely fine. That's just the way things are. If no one particularly wants to interact using the chat, there's actually no point me doing them live. I'll still do the content. I've made the commitment that I'm going to do this for the full tournament. Certainly from, even from tomorrow, we're still in the first week and we're down to 16 matches. From Monday, I think it's down to 8, just from memory. It really drops off. So I'd probably be struggling to make it worthwhile scheduling and having people turn up at 9 o'clock to listen to me talk for 15 minutes. So I will still do this content. I'll still give my thoughts on the following day's matches. It just makes it a little bit more convenient for myself because it's quite tiring. I'm starting at like 6:30 on a morning. So it's a long day by the time I've gone through all this. I've got to prepare for a set time. So as I say, the content will still be there. I'm still going to provide that for the tournament, and it's something that I will use in the future. I just don't really see the point of doing it live. It's not adding anything to it whatsoever. So that's just information. Probably from tomorrow, I'm probably going to do it at a similar time because it is convenient. But you will still get my thoughts on the following day's matches. Right then, back on to today. Some very strange results today. Prediction wise, on the men's, not too bad. Tier 4 went with in the end on my trading advice email. That came out okay. Simon, Demina all won. Kohlschreiber with 3 tie breaks. That's no shock. What on earth happened with Cilic? He was 2 sets and I think 3-1 up, and he's lost to a clay courter. That's the shock of the tournament for me so far. I just don't get that at all. I wasn't following it when it was on, so I don't know if he was having issues. There's nothing saying that he had a medical timeout. Nadal, as expected, Anderson in 4. The Greek guy managed it in his match delay from yesterday. Wawrinka, just go home, what are you doing? You're obviously not ready. Isner in 5, he shouldn't have been taken to 5 sets there. Kyrgios, I thought, might just drop a tiebreak set to Hase. He didn't. Sets were pretty tight. Djokovic, not a problem. Chachinov, I didn't think would need 5 sets. Thought it might be 4. Ebden won as expected. Vesely as expected. I think Schwartzman even had a medical timeout. So when you've only won one match in your career on grass, medical timeouts don't help things. That one I thought Zumher would come through, but I expected Gulbis to be competitive, and he certainly was. Maybe having won the title last week just took too much out of him. Pair, you never know which version of him is going to turn up. He was terrible in the last round. Didn't think he would have much of a chance today, and as you see, he lost the first set 6-love and then rattles off the next 3 sets. Tennis is a very strange sport sometimes. Tomic, as I don't know if I predicted it on here, words are hard. On the trading advice email, I thought he would take a set, which he did. Happy with that. I thought Lopez would take a set from Potro. He didn't. Edmund, comfortable. Thought Bellelli might give Fognini a few more issues, but that's a very easy win for him. And a potential upset there. Zverev 2-1 down, and I think they've stopped for the day now. It's too dark down in London. Ladies started off reasonably well. Barty struggled, but still got through in 2 sets. Bolter went 3-0 down at the start, but pulled back, I think, to 3-all. I got out at 3-2. Come on, move. Where are we? No, she lost a serve again. She did get back to 3-2. That was a nice little trade there. She was always behind. She fought hard enough, but she was always behind. Kerber somehow managed to lose that first set. It wasn't a great price on her for the second set, but she did the job fairly comfortably in the second. A little bit nervy in the third round. Strichka very easy. I thought Gavrilova and Stosur would go to 3, so I laid Gavrilova when she won the set, and Stozer just went home early. Siniakova, that was a good battle. Jabber served for the match in that third set, but just choked it. So some nice swings in that match. That was expected. Tormo, I thought, would give Navarro some problems there. She has done in that first. I wish this would open where I put it. That first set. Yeah, she did go break up, but just couldn't hold on to it. And then her serve just went completely tits up for the rest of the match. Expected a bit more from Vickery. Mertens was the better player. She was expected to win. Same with Kazakina. I don't know what Risk was doing there. I think she had 4 match points in the... She was a break-up in the second set. It went to a tie-break and she had 4 match points, which she wasted, and then obviously couldn't handle the disappointment and just faded like crazy. Halep, easy enough 2 sets. Disappointed that one didn't go to 3. Diatchenko, having beaten Sharapova in the last round, I thought might have been a little bit distracted by that, but no, that's a good win for her. Conte, very disappointing. Last year's semi-finalists. Had an email from a guy today saying I backed Conte when she lost the first set. Was that still the right thing to do? And I think it was, and it's what I did. The first set was settled by a single break. You see there, just that single break. And actually only 1 break in that set as well, so as far as I'm concerned, certainly based on my pre-match opinion, she's the stronger player on grass. It was a no-brainer that you were going to back her. Having lost the opening set. Sometimes you do the right thing and it doesn't work. That's tennis. Sasnovich through. Not many 3-setters, which is disappointing because that's where we make a lot of our money. The blog post, always irritating to me personally when I pick what I think is a pretty solid match and she wins 4 games. Cheers for that one on Flip, thanks very much. And at the end, that game was just finished. Muguruza lost in 3, last year's champion. So a few strange ones. You always get them in the majors. It's just really hard to know where they're going to come sometimes. Still can't get over the Cilic one. Anyway, let's have a look at tomorrow's matches. I've downloaded them. I use a program called On Court that I know some of you have. So we've got the matches. I haven't put them in playing order. Flash scores when I downloaded these didn't have the correct playing order, so I'll just sort that out tomorrow. We've got the prices. This is how I send out the trading advice each day. So as I say, we're down to beginning of the week. You're looking at 32 men's matches and 32 women's matches. That was a lot of work to get that filled out. Quite nice to be down to just 8 of each, reducing my workload, and I actually get time to trade a few more matches. So what I do is I like to have the prices there. You've obviously got knowledge of the players once you've been doing this a while, so we know that Federer's not really going to struggle against Struff. I'm not even going to look at that one to see if there's any opportunities there. At 1.03 all you can do is lay, but the way he's been playing, he's not lost a set. He went through the entire tournament last year without dropping a set. So far he's done the same. you've got to think that's going to be 3 sets, and you're not going to get much out of a lay there. Up to you if you go for it. This one looks more interesting. Both have been playing well on grass in the last week or two. Priced pretty evenly as well. So what we'll do, I'm going to have to move that off that screen. And let's have a look. That's good. Now, as I've shown you in a couple of the other sessions, I have a set initial routine, if you like, that I go through to just get a feel of how the match is going to go. Then I'll look at who they've played recently, strengths on all surfaces and strengths on this particular surface, which at the minute is grass, and then decide how I'm going to trade the match. So if we look down here, this site, by the way, is Tennis Insight. I've mentioned before I'm not paid by Tennis Insight, although they do allow me very kindly to use the software for free. No other site will give you the information that I need the way I research matches. Whether other people do it differently, I have no idea. I found what works for me, and they did shut this program down. I think it was a couple of years ago, might even be 3 years ago. They weren't sure if they were going to be able to continue. So for, I don't know how long it was, it seemed like days, it was maybe only a couple of days. I had to try and find stats elsewhere, and it just takes forever. Whereas with this, you've got it all in one place. It suits me. Have a look at it if you haven't already looked at it. Pretty reasonable prices. You can pay over various different, whether it's 3 days, a week, a month, 3 months. You've got flexibility there as to how long you want to sign up for. I don't know if they do a free trial. I don't think they do. Anyway, back to these. So if we go further down, there's a lot of information in here that I don't use, I'll be perfectly honest. You've got your ranking, they give it a match rating, a surface rating, predicted chance. I like to keep things as simple as possible, because especially when I've got a lot of matches to go through, it needs to be pretty slick, and I don't want to be wasting a lot of time like I am now. So further down you get the head-to-heads. Mannarino 2-0. One of them on grass, which is obviously significant, only a couple of seasons ago. So he's got the edge in the head-to-heads. Go to activity. Right, and what I'm looking at here is initially results for the last 12 months. That's obviously a rolling last 12 months. And results for this season, this calendar year. So if I just flick between the two, you get a feel for who's better. Medvedev stronger this season. His ROI is also higher. I place the positives in green, so it's easy if you're flicking between the two to see at a glance who's better there. So not a huge amount between them over 12 months. Medvedev stronger this season, and he's got the higher ROI. So that gives me my first initial idea of how I think it's going to go. Because if you look at their recent matches, this is Mannarino's, just double check, yep. Quarterfinal at Queen's. Final last week in Turkey, and he's obviously doing well so far. He's in the third round, so he's playing well. Medvedev hasn't done that much recently. Shardy's been in good form. That's no shame losing that one. Losing to Steve Johnson. Steve Johnson's not been too hot recently, but he's turned it on for the big tournament, as some players do. Beating Coric in 3 sets, also beating Garcia Lopez in 3. I expected him to beat Garcia Lopez. I thought he may need 4 sets, and I actually thought Coric would beat him. So he's performing better than I initially expected. So again, the general feel that I get there is that I'm favouring Medvedev. So if we just go back to the price when I checked it probably an hour ago was 183. Not a bad price, especially since I'm favouring him. I would be looking for a little bit more than that because they're both playing well. If Manarino he's had better recent results on grass, so he's going to be competitive. He's going to take at least a set there, and it wouldn't surprise me if that goes to 4 or even 5 sets, but I'm favouring Medvedev. So what I'm looking for is, it's very rare that I'm going to get in at the start price. If I do, I'll go for, I tend to split my stake into thirds, so I may put a third, and I might actually do that in this case, to be honest. Put a third on at the start price, and then I would only add to that position higher than, in this case, 1.83. So I would say wait for 2.1. Why 2.1? I do have a pricing model that I use. It's quite flexible, and some of it is experience that I can't quantify. I can't put down X, Y, and Z. This is why I get this number. And I would feel happier, certainly backing above evens. And I think I look for what we're going to get without too much happening. So the best price we're going to get without, certainly I'm not looking for him to be broken, because I don't expect him to be broken that often. If he goes love 30 down on serve, you're going to get 2.1. So that's where I would put the back in to get on to Medvedev at that one. Yeah, I'm happy with that, but I think it's going to be 4 or 5 sets. So for the wins a set subscribers, I'm telling them Manarino's going to take a set there. So that's that one. I'm not going to bother filling it in, obviously, because we'll be here all night. Hopefully that makes sense. It may make more sense if we look at the next one, which is Query Monfils. A little bit surprised at the price, although Monfils struggled a little bit. So let's have a look at that one. Don't want this to drag on too long because I haven't eaten yet. And where are you? There we go. Don't start asking questions now. Now I said I'm not going to do them anymore. Go on. Yeah. There's going to be a delay in my responses on the video to the chat, but I'm watching it. "5 days, nobody's given a question." Anyway, here we go. Maybe you're going to change my mind. Right, jump to the overview to get an idea of the head-to-head. Monfils 2-0. He's won both. Last one being 2016 on a hard court. 3 sets. The other one being on clay. Clay's not really relevant to grass. Hard court, slightly relevant. Okay, just to answer the question in there. So many variables. If I'd laid at 1.3 and didn't quite hit 1.6, as long as they were being, the player that I was on was being competitive, creating chances, preferably at least creating breakpoints if they don't take it, I would stick with them. If they're just not and the other player is holding to 11-15, I would start to reduce my liability. Hope that helps. Back to Query. So yeah, Monfils has won both their matches. Let's look at the stats. That's typical, isn't it? Somebody asked a question when I said, nobody's asking questions. What are you doing to me? Okay, so we've got the filter selected for all matches, so it gives all surfaces, and that gives better results for Monfils, both in the 12 months and 2018. His ROI is also higher, not spectacular but higher. Filter to grass results. Okay, pretty similar, in fact identical, although Monfils again a higher ROI. So Y is query 153. So then you look at who they've played. Okay, that's something to do with it. Big fluctuation there. He's beaten Gasquet in 3, a match that I expected him to lose, and he's needed 4 sets to beat Lorenzi, who's bloody useless on grass. Now let's look at what Query's done. He's beaten Stakowski, who played well in the first round. I thought Stak might give him a few more problems. I don't know why I use a mouse mat with this. Well, I do know why I use a mouse mat. It's an optical mouse. My mouse mat's got a picture of my granddaughter on, and she turns up and I haven't got it on the desk. She goes nuts. It's just not worth the risk. Right. Query's only faced 2 break points in that one, and 4 in that one, but he saved them all, so he's not been broken in 2 matches. And Monfils has looked dodgy, so that maybe explains why he's favourite, but not, bring that over, not why he's 1.53. So what I would be expecting there is that Query would be priced higher. He isn't, he's priced at 153. When people start talking about value, really it's only an opinion, because it's not reality. The reality is 1.53. I would actually, based on results this week, but you've also got to factor in that Monfils has won both the previous matches and has better results for the year. He's had one really strong match and one dodgy one. Query's looked solid. So Query's rightly the favourite there, but probably 1.75 to 1.8 is a more realistic price. So therefore, we've got initial value on Monfils. So that's the position that I've taken, having looked at, having gone through a pretty quick look at what they've done this week, little look at the stats. I think Monfils, let me just check his service stats. I think he's got to be able to take at least a set. He's won both the previous matches. I think they've got a bit carried away with themselves at 153. Broken 4 times. His first serve is going okay. Maybe Lorenzi just played particularly well, but it doesn't really make sense. And in the Gasquet match, you can see why I usually start at 6 o'clock, can't you? And this, this is just the second match. It was only broken once. 10 double faults. Bit of a red flag. Okay. I'm favouring Query to win, but not in straight sets. Just bring that up again. So what I'm going to advise on that one is that we lay Query around about 1.4 and get out at 1.8, and also to back Query if he loses the first set. Could easily go to 4 or 5 sets on that one. So that's that one. Kohlschreiber, Anderson, 2 big servers. Let's have a look. How are we doing for time? Not bad, not bad. Where's he gone? Oh, what a wad. I just realised it's in the same order as I've got it on the sheet. Why am I looking up and down the list? Sometimes. Right. Head to heads. I would guess that the sets have always been tight. They've only completed 2 of the matches. Anderson 4-0. Kohlschreiber retired from that one, pulled out of that one beforehand, never played on grass. Okay. Okay. Not sure if that helps or not. Kohlschreiber, I can tell you now his stats haven't been good this year. Barely over the 50% matches won. And much better for Anderson, so straight away he's got the edge there. His return on investment is also higher. And even over 12 months Anderson's got a better win rate. And similar ROI, Kohlschreiber slight edge there. Let's look at grass. If we just look at Anderson first and pick out his results for Wimbledon. Okay, so he made the 4th round. Kohlschreiber hasn't had, I think, a lot of luck at Wimbledon recently. He has in the past. See, that's first round last year, and the year before, and the year before. So it's looking strongly in favour of Anderson. Quick look at who they've played this time. His serve's obviously going well. Chances are his return game isn't. No breaks of serve in that whatsoever. But obviously Muller's a pretty decent server as well. And that one he was comfortable. Just one. He's been broken once in 2 matches. So he's not going to be pushover. I would imagine Anderson's got similar. It did drop a set, but it was a tie break, so it's not forced to be. It was broken once. 34 aces. That's looking a bit ominous. And just the one there, 20 aces in that one. Okay, so from that, favouring Anderson, but not at 1.4. Because of the way that both of them are serving, the sets are going to be tight. Now what that means is a very small number of points is going to decide it, and chances are, it's practically guaranteed, we're going to get tie breaks. You don't want to be backing, even though everything there that I've looked at points towards Anderson winning. 1.4, you've got to be right. And as soon as it looks like, and the market and the other traders suspect that Kohlschreiber's got a chance, that price is going to start flying up. So what I'll be doing there is I'm going to lay him at 1.3, preferably in the early couple of games of the match, and hope that Kohlschreiber can keep serving well and can take it to a tie break. If they get to a tie break, that price is going to be higher anyway. It's going to start pushing up because they realise that he's got a chance. So we may even get a chance to remove some liability before the tie break if you want to stay in. But I do favour Anderson to win, probably in 4 sets. That's my take on that one. Not saying I'm right. My wife will tell me I'm not. So many times I'm wrong. I'm just not. It's alright. Don't get me started on that one. Anyway, don't bring domestics into it. Pella. I want to see his stats for the Chilich game. There we go. Next one down. We won't be looking at all the matches there. Some of them are just too one-sided anyway. But I wanted to look at this one. Oh no, you're all asking questions now. Stop it. Yes, I always prep in advance. No. Never wade in without doing some sort of research, even if it's only 30 seconds worth. Suicide. I hope that's clear. Okay, these two haven't played before. Results for the year and also for this season slightly favour McDonald. I'm going to guess that grass results also favour him. Why are there lots of comments tonight? What are you doing? It's so awkward. My wife sent you. Right, focus. Grass. Yeah. Slightly better results for McDonald. So initially, favouring McDonald. What happened in this one? It's 2 sets and a breakdown, and he comes back to win. He's broken 6 times. Hits 14 aces. 2/3 of his points won. Chilich broken 4 times. It's not like he's had a particularly bad game. It just doesn't make sense. Okay, so that puts a bit of a spanner in the works, because normally we'd be on McDonald. Look at who did McDonald play. Okay, right, 5 sets there. I favoured Jarry to win that one. Wasn't a bad pick. 11-9 in the 5th. Barankis broken 4 times. More double faults than aces is not a good sign on grass. Broken 4 times there. Sorted out his double faults. That was a good performance actually against Jarry. Tough one. Very tough one. There is a chance when a player beats a top opponent. Let me just see where. Yeah, top 5 player. They get a little bit more media attention than normal. That distracts a little bit for the preparation for the next match. At Wimbledon, they've got a gap of a day between the next match usually. It's not quite as big a thing. It doesn't happen as often because they've got that extra gap. Normally, if they have, say they beat Djokovic, they're not going to sleep and they have to play the next day. They're going to be so much media attention. They're going to be so excited at beating a top player. They don't sleep. They're not prepared for the match. As I say, the extra day in between does help. Tough one. Tough one. Can he maintain that level? But can he maintain a level that saw him 2 sets and a breakdown? This is what I have to go through sometimes. I'm still I'm gonna go with, and I'm going with McDonald. I'm not going to base everything on one match, that one match being the Chilich match. For this season and for the last year, McDonald has been a little better. I think that's just a freak. a freak that he's beaten Cilic. So there's value on McDonald anyway, on the stats that we've seen. His confidence, you would think, is high if he's able to concentrate. No, it's got a bit. McDonald's the pick there. But I can't see him. McDonald won't want it to go to 5 sets because he's played 4 sets and 5 sets in his previous 2. If he has, certainly if he has a 5-setter, he's going to be knackered by the end of it. So he's going to come out fast. I will be laying Pella. He's made a slow start in the last match. Cilic has shit the bed. I don't know what happened there. Lay Pella at 1.5 and look to get out at evens. And I'll be looking for low lays on that one against Pella. If he does get ahead, if Pella takes the first set, I'll be laying. That should be an interesting one. Be careful with stake size if you do go in on that one. But I think a 1.5 lay on Pella is the way to go. Okay, moving on. Raonic should be very comfortable there. Isner, why did he play 5 sets? How many sets did Albert play? Quick look, and then we'll be on to the ladies. That's all I need to see. They don't, obviously week in week out, they don't play best of 5. So when the tennis players are among the fittest athletes on the planet, absolutely. But the slightly lower to middle ranking players are not used to playing 5 sets and not used to playing consecutive 5-setters. So even though, the reason I wanted to see that was Isner's played one as well. But Isner's style is so efficient, that's why he was able to play that ridiculous match a few years ago. What was it, 76-74 or something in the 5th? No, I'm on Isner for that one. No value though at, where are we? 121. There's no value there. Even backing him if he loses the first set, it's not going to be worth it. Albert's going to run out of steam. That's a bit of a non-event. I'll be leaving that one alone, I think. Let's have a quick look at that one. He's played today, or finished his match today, and didn't look particularly sharp. Where are you going? What are you doing? Right, go through the process. 1-0 last year, but on clay. Not greatly relevant. Overall results strongly favouring the Greek bloke. Look on grass. And very even on grass. Fabiano beat Wawrinka. Only broken once. Serving well. Again, not much of a serve there, and more double faults than aces. Even Wawrinka at 17. Four sets and a 5-setter. Broken 3 times. Not bad service stats to say he's played 5 sets. And what price is he at? No value at 145 when he's just played a 5-setter today that he really shouldn't have gone to 5 sets in. Fabiano played better than expected. I thought Wawrinka would beat him even if he wasn't at his best. So the value is on Fabiano initially, because I wouldn't want to back this Greek bloke below 1.7 really. I think that the price is miles out there. I would say I'll be laying that at 1.3, and I think there's a very good chance of at least 4 sets in that one. Yeah, 1.3, and at least remove some liability at 1.6. And if, how do you say that name? Tsitsipas? Stefanos. Let's go with Stefanos. Stefanos. I've never seen a stream with him playing. I can't have done. I've never heard his name said. If he wins the first set, he's worth a lay as well. So that's it for the men's. Let's have a look at the ladies. Okay, Pliskova, first time in the third round. Just check for comments. None. Good. Back to normal. 1.48. So the market, if she was playing well, she would not be 1.48. Let's have a quick look at that one. I'm trying to get done for 10 o'clock. If it's later than 10, I'm dead. Dead. What am I doing? What am I clicking? Okay, where have we gone? Come on, there we go. Second half. Bottom half of the draw. Okay. One match on grass, 2012. And even then she took 3 sets. But she was ranked outside the top 120, so not relevant. Not relevant at all. Oops, there we go. So both have done well. Pliskova better results. Just checking, she's been playing main tour. I always check down there. If I think I've mentioned this before this week. If we look at their results for this season, no, in fact, for this season, let's stick with this season. You see there, Pliskova's won 71% of hers. Buzz has won 62, so still pretty good. If she had been playing mainly ITF events, therefore against weaker opponents, that 62% doesn't equal a similar 62% if it's in the main WTA tournaments. But she's played all WTAs, so that's good results for her. Look at grass. That probably didn't make any sense at all, did it? I'll put subtitles on. She's got stronger results on grass. Pliskova, I think, only plays mainly here at Wimbledon and Eastbourne. Won Eastbourne last year. Only reached the quarterfinals this year. Second round at Wimbledon last year, and she's already beaten that. Her serve seemed didn't even face a single break point. What a frustrating match that was. And she's had semi-finals in Birmingham, followed up with third round in Eastbourne. Tough first round match with Sabalenka. Really comfortable there. I doubt she's faced... Oh, she got broken twice. She lost 3 games and 2 of them were breaks of serve. Tremendous. But she obviously didn't need to be super focused to get through that one. Pliskova looked good, I've got to say. difficult to think she's going to go far in a tournament that she's never been past the second round, but she has started to do better in Grand Slams, so I'm going to favour her for this one. The price is 148. I would take 175, 1.75, or just wait for her to get broken. It's not at all unusual, having just seen the stats. This isn't going to make much sense when she didn't face a break point in the last game. It's not unusual for her to start slowly and get broken at the start. She will have been focused from the first ball against Azarenka because it's a big name. She knew she was a problem. She will think that she's going to get a decent game from this one. This is obviously what I imagine she's thinking, but she's not going to be as pumped up at the start, and I think she might just catch her a little bit cold. So I'm going to back Pliskova if she gets broken first, and obviously if she loses the first set, she's worth a back. Breathe. Burton's Williams. She's just finding a way to do it, Venus, isn't she, so far? Burton's is okay sometimes on grass. Quick look. Okay. Not sure if they've played before. They have Williams this year on a hard court, 3 sets. Okay. Overall results slightly favour Williams, but not a great deal in it. Burton's has played more matches. Look at the grass. She only really plays Wimbledon, Venus, but she did get to the final last year. So she's won 8 of her last 10. On this surface, 40 of the last 50, whereas in the last 50 matches she's got a losing record, she's got a losing career record. Gotta favour Williams to take that one. I wouldn't be backing at, where's it gone? There we go, at 157, but I'd take 1.8. Another player who often starts slowly. She did start slowly in the last match. Only lost a set, I think, by a single break, and then riled off the second and third sets pretty fast. So 1.75, 1.8, I'll be looking at backing her at that. Okay, next one. That looks like a good matchup actually. Goega Strichkova. Come on, we can do this. We can get this done for 10. The brain shut down. Hello. There you go. It's the bottom half of the draw. It's the bottom half of the draw. Remember it. Well, yeah. If I'm expecting Pliskova to, just looking at the comments in the chat, if I'm expecting Pliskova to trade higher, then yeah, initial value is on Buzz. I'm just saying I prefer Pliskova to win the match, and then we'll look for what price we want to get in at. Okay, 11 matches. Strichkova has a lead by 1. She's won 4 of the last 5. Goega's won their only match this season on hard. Have they played on grass? Nope. Okay. Okay, so that initial check on the head-to-head would suggest Strichkova is the better player, but stats never lie. Goegas has the lead there. Stats are okay as a starting point. What we need to remember about Strichkova is she made an awful start to the year. If we look at some of her results, I mean, look at all these first round losses. all first round losses through February, March, April. She didn't find the form until the French Open, and then that's got her confidence back. So much of sport is about confidence. She's got her confidence back now. Just one loss to Pliskova in her recent ones. And obviously Rybarek over there. There's that one. Okay, let's have a look at the grass results. Should be a little bit more relevant because they're more recent. And you see there, Strichkova, better results, higher return on investment. Of the two, she's the form player. Goega's struggled a little bit against Lapko. She wouldn't have been struggling earlier in the season when she was really strong. Struggled with Puig a little bit. She's done nothing this year. Tsarenko should have given her more of a match and she didn't. Only faced one break point, which was taken. Tough one with Kuznetsova in the first round. Bit of a mess on second serve, 6 double faults, broken 4 times, but better in the most recent match. So I'm favouring, from all that gibberish, Strichkova to win, but because Goegas has been playing well, I think there's a fair chance of 3 sets. So we've got 177 on her. I would be tempted, personally, to put part stake on at 1.8 because she ran away with the first set today, wasn't it? It must have been a delayed match from yesterday. I do favour her to win. I'll be putting a third on at 1.8 and I'm looking at 2.1 for the rest. Not great value at the start, but enough. I would have had it priced at 1.8, which is why I'm going to go for that as the initial one, the initial back, and I'll add to it at 2.1. Fair chance of 3 sets. Just put that in to remind me tomorrow. Okay. Just looking at the remaining ones. Still some good matches. 5 minutes and I'm dead. Next one. Whitmare. It does occasionally log you out for no apparent reason, which is a bit irritating. I have mentioned it. I send them lots of little messages on Skype when things don't work. They love me. Okay. Right, I'm actually going to make this the last one. I'm running over the time that I promised I'd be done by. Yeah, we'll look at this one and then I'll just quickly give an opinion on the remaining matches. Bearing in mind, I haven't looked at them yet myself. Whitmare won both their previous matches, the last one being 2015, never played on grass. Oops. Overall results in the last 12 months and 2018 favour Wick. However, grass should be a different story. Vekic has been strong on grass. Oh, pretty even, 66%, and a higher ROI on Whitmare. That suggests to me that she's got a chance of at least a set. She served pretty well actually in the last round. Way too low at 139 based on what we just looked at. I'd be laying Vekic at 1.3 and at least reduce liability at 1.6. I think she's got a very good chance of taking a set. Just check her serve stats for the last match. She's not lost a set so far. Broken 3 times. First serve, not bad service stats. That was probably the difference between the players. 27% on second serve for Petkovic. So yeah, definitely worth a lay at 1.3 there, and I'd be amazed if she doesn't take a set. Amazed. Right, I apologise, I'm not going to be able to finish these in the detail that I've done the previous ones. I think Keys is too low at 1.18. She should win it. Radina has lifted a game this week. I think she'll give her problems in at least one of the sets. Georgie Siniakova, did she have a? She had a medical timeout. It was on. I'm sure it was mentioned on flash scores. She had a medical timeout. Anybody know what it was for? Oh, it's about 11 seconds delay. It's going to take too long. No, I'll be on Georgie for that one. Please bear in mind I haven't researched the stats on this one. This is a gut reaction. 1.85 to 1.9 on Georgie. And Safarova did really well for us against Radwanska. I'll be on her again today, tomorrow. Even though Makarova has played well, she's having a poor season, but has lifted a game for this tournament. I'm looking at 1.85 on Safarova. So I say, apologise if I had to wrap that up pretty quickly, but I would literally get killed if I'm not downstairs in 2 minutes. Thanks for coming. Thanks for the comments and in the chat. That's maybe made me rethink that I was not going to do the rest of the tournament live. I may stick with it a little bit longer. Hope that's been useful. Apologise for the hurried finish, and I'll see you in the next one.